welcome to week 4 of building Crait. And first of all, sorry there hasn't been a video for 2 weeks, so technically isn't the 4th week of building Crait. I've been bogged down with block exams and waiting for orders to come in, had lots of work, but finally I've got some decent work done, and when I say decent, it's probably more than decent. It's pretty amazing what I've got done this week, and I can't wait to share with you guys, so I'll show you that in just a minute. We've got 3 base plates done, and we'll be going through those in this segment. 2 of the trenches started, and the salt flats with a ski feeder on them. And then I've also started prototyping the wall. Now the wall won't be done for a while, but I wanted to see what I could do with some pieces I had, because I was testing some theories out, and you know, I think I've come up with something pretty unique and something very different from what everyone else is doing for Crait. So I'm very excited to show you that. But first of all, I have one very major thing to say, and that is to give one huge shout out to my friend COClone Commander. This guy has been a legend these past 2 weeks. If you remember correctly, last week, or 2 weeks ago, I asked for anyone who could to film some footage from the Star Wars Battlefront 2 DLC of Crait, and just walk around slowly around all the trenches, around all the tunnels, around the base, and just give me a real good look. And fortunately, CO was up to the challenge, and he did this, and it was such a great help, and it has been such a great help. This is such a great resource. He has 2 channels. This video is posted on his gaming channel, the video that he made for me with this footage, and his other channel is great, so you can go check out all of his stuff. I'll leave a link for it in the description below, and just go check out this guy, support him, because he's been a real great help to me these last few weeks. Alright, without further ado guys, let's get on to the segment. I'll see you on the flip side.
Okay guys, so here's the order I got in this week. There was actually another order which is just over there, but I already started building with that, and I didn't exactly want to make a whole another segment on a order that I had already built from. So anyway, here's what I got this week, and it's very good, and I'll get to building with it right after I film this bit of this segment actually. So I'll just take you through what I got. These are two orders combined, this bit here, and then there's another one over the other side. So we've just got lots of bricks to start building up Crait, lots of the parts for the salt flats, 1x1 tiles, very useful for this part. Plates, need lots of those. I bought some of these. I'm going to experiment with them for making the door, because I'm going for a plated design, not a brick built design, and I believe that'll be a superior design myself, but we'll see. That's like 500 of those jumper plates in red. I need them for the trenches. Lots of bits and pieces which I know I'll be able to use for the trenches and many other things, not just the trenches. So yes, we've got a lot of stuff here. Some more plates, some more parts for the salt flats, some things for other areas of the MOC, and then lots of these for building up the sides and whatnot. So lots of good stuff, I'll get to building with that, and then we'll see what I have ended up being able to create. See ya in a bit. So guys, here we are at the MOC, and at the moment you can see Poe there in the ski speeder, and you can start to see a bit of what the salt flats are going to look like. But I'll just first of all run you through a few of the things I got done during this week, and that is that I got 2 of the trenches made. I've started experimenting with the salt trail, or not salt trail, the dirt trail that goes behind the speeders. I've finalized my salt flat design. I've started putting extra detail into the trenches. I need to order some more parts, of course, and I've also started to experiment with the wall, which won't happen for a while, but I had some pieces on hand and wanted to see what would happen. So, I guess it's time for the big reveal. Okay. And there we have it. All of the work I got this week. Just move away this ATM6 so you can see this lovely lot of work. That's 3 whole base plates, guys. And as you can see, a ski speeder is coming across there. That'll probably be the the final placing for that ski speeder, which is great. And then the major stuff is we've totally finished this trench over here, and we've also adjusted a few things that I didn't like about it. So that's all great, and it's no pun intended, but it is really looking great in my opinion. And we can come over here and have a look at the other trench. You can notice that this gun here, it's actually just the one that was in the Lego set, and I'm still to make a custom one, so I just chucked it in there so that we get a sense of where I will be putting the final design of that when it's done. But here's the secondary trench, and I'll take a close look at these in a minute. I'm just doing a quick overview of what work I got done this week, and it's looking pretty great. And now we have the sold flat design. So I've decided to go with the most prominent user who's using this is Rich Boy J, and he kind of created it, though I'm sure other people had the same idea. He's just been using it for the longest, and it's such a great design. And I'm very glad that he's come up with it and that I've seen it, because it's way better than any of the other designs on YouTube at the moment, in my opinion. It really gets the salt flat design down pat and really helps with the overall feel of everything. So we got that done, and then we also started experimenting with the all that dirt being kicked up by the ski speeder. And if I take that off, this is only a very small experiment. You also see I've started getting the line that the skimmer leaves in there, and that will of course continue on throughout the mock. So that's all looking pretty cool. So 3 base plates. Yes, it's pretty amazing. Now, even though this may not seem like a lot in the grand scale of things, it honestly is, and that is due to the amount of time it takes to lay down these sod flats and just build up the amount of space I need to keep all of the plates that support the sod flats. And it takes a while. You're just gonna have to take my word for that. But the end result is beautiful in my opinion, so I'm very, very glad that I have gone with it. Let's close look at those sod flats. Now let's take a closer look at the trenches and then the tunnels, which are currently obscured, shall I say. So if we look in here, the main thing that you see has probably been changed is I actually created these ladders. Now these are as close as I could get to the ones that are actually on Crait in the film, and I didn't have those before, but this really adds a much better look to Crait. I've also added some more cables in here, which I love the look of these flex tubes, and then these cables all around here, so in my opinion it looks great. This is my personal favourite trench that I've seen on YouTube at the moment, not to be biased or anything, but I believe that it looks great, and I've added some cool details in there. You can also see that I've changed the doors slightly, as I said I would. I believe these look better and just serve their purpose more. That door down the end will go into a bunker, much like this one, just with guns on the side here, and of course upscaled, so that big turret will be pretty cool. You can see the entryways into the tunnels are on either side, and I guess I can give you a bit of a sneak peek of the tunnels just from this small part that I've made on this side. And if my camera would focus, Sorry about the focusing issues, guys. There we go. It looks pretty cool, and the design that I've come up with, I believe, works really well. And it looks really natural to me, and that's the main upside about the design that I've chosen, I believe. Now let's move on to the other set of trenches, and then I'll show you the tunnels. So here are these trenches, and you can just kind of see that side profile. And if we go across, I added in some crates and things. You can notice that these aren't fully finished. I've just run out of a few pieces that I need to finish off. For example, the ladders or the entryway to the tunnel system down there. So that's not complete. When I say this entire 3 base plate layout at the moment is complete, it isn't, because I'm just missing a few pieces, but it basically is. I've also got that nice flex tubing down there, and I just believe that the look of these trenches is just so beautiful. I'm really happy with how they've turned out. I hope you guys like them as much as I do. Now, for the tunnels. I'll just hold my camera here for a second, and it's very interesting how I've done this, and this has been the plan all along in some way or form, that I want to just be able to pull off sections like this. So that whole section just pops right off, and then we can have a look in the tunnels. And the tunnels are one of my favorite parts of this MOC because of the way that these cables fall. I believe this is probably a better angle to capture the way that they fall, and it's really beautiful in my opinion. I worked quite hard to get that detail in, and it's worked out well. So you can just see inside. It's quite a cramped space, very claustrophobic, so you won't be able to see as much as you may like to see. So my condolences on that part. We have some detail in there, and I just believe that it looks great. And you can just imagine that the entire MOC will have pieces that pull up so we can see the insides. And yes, after you finish looking, you can just take your big salt flat piece there. This one has a particular way that it lines up, and then just fits back in there smoothly and snugly, and you can pat it down, and ta-da, it's salt flats once again. Now I'll just take you over to this ski speeder and take the ski speeder off just to experiment, showing you one more thing. Well, oops, my little stand that I had it on fell off, apparently. So here is that red dirt I was experimenting with. See, it's not very finished on that side, but I think that's a pretty good shaping. You can tell me what you think in the comment section below, whether I should change it or what I should do about that. But you can start to see this kind of line here from the ski speeders. I need to buy some of those small curved 1x1 tile pieces just to fill in these areas and make it look a bit more natural. But I believe that that whole look for the ski speeders trail will look very great, and then, as I said before, it will continue along all over there. Now for another interesting piece of information about these segments. So of course they're not all built together, so they simply pull apart. So now you can see all 3 sections. This one's a lot less heavily built inside, but we can see these ones are pretty filled up, especially the first one I did, because I needed the most integral support, because it was very much a test, and then I can just go along and make all of these others, and well, it just looks very cool to me to just see how this thing is going to go together. And seeing 3 together at this current moment gives me a really good idea of how this entire MOC's going to go. And I am extremely excited, let me tell you, for how this MOC will end up looking. So, it's a very exciting time to be in. Very exciting time for Fox bricks. Now, while I'm here, and before I go over to that large grey thing over there, which is also very interesting in itself, I want to explain how these trenches will lay out. Now, you know in Crait there are two lots of trenches, but I am not following the exact trench design because mine will be mainly straight. So this trench, it'll go into the turret, which will be about my hand's width there at the moment, and then the trench will continue on and have basically a mirror of this section on the opposite side. But this trench here, this will carry on to around here, but then go into a tunnel, just so I have enough salt flat space to have my ski speeders doing some pretty cool things. So there'll be a tunnel going through there, and then in this center section, just where those figures are and around there, I'm planning on having a big underground part which I can pull things up, the salt flats up, and have a look at it. And that'll be the most inspired part from Battlefront 2. So I think that'll be pretty cool. But now let's head over there and have a look at my prototyping of the massive Crait wall. Okay guys, and as you can see, this is a large beam in dark bluish grey. But if I stand it up this direction, to give you an example, this is very shoddily made, mainly because, well, it's not at the moment really meant to hold together. It was just a test. But let's see if I prop it up back here, some of my Bricklink orders, if it will stay. Alright, well, the top's splitting apart a bit, but you can kind of get the idea that that will be the height of the door, and I'll just take you through the design of the door too. Now, most people are building their designs with bricks, but I wanted to make it with plates, and I'm using these plates here for this test, and I'll probably continue using them because they're pretty decent to build large scale things in. But to get that angle, as you can see there, if we just look at the bottom section, for example, it's angling at the exact right angle that the wall would need to be, and then it'll continue backwards, and this entire thing will be on an angle itself. But that's the kind of angle it needs, and the way I have done that is, if I turn this thing around without breaking it, I have used these Technic beams with some things inside. There it goes, breaking. I'll just break that off, to be honest. And they're offset by half a stud, because I've used jumper plates in there. Sorry about all the camera work here, it's pretty shoddy. But yes, there's the offset, and it works wonders. And if I have that the entire way up, of course, well done. That will just be a great way to create this wall, and in all honesty, I think create a very beautiful wall. I also would like to get this wall in such a way that it may be able to move up and down independently. Not saying anything about that yet, but I think because it'll be lighter, because it is made out of plates, I may be able to work something out. But anyway, that's kind of the look. You can start to visualize it, start to visualize what I kind of have up there, and it's very exciting, very exciting. Okay, so we have all of that work done over there. We also have this started. I believe that is a very good week's work, or more like 3 weeks now, but still, it's a very great amount of work. I'm very happy to have that work done. Alright, let's go and finish up this video, guys. Okay, just before we finish out, I thought I'd just quickly show you what LEGO's ATM 6 looks like on my sword flats. So there it is, looks pretty interesting.
Well, week 4, over and finished. I hope that you're as pleased with the work that I've got done as I am personally, because I feel like I've got a lot of jobs done, a lot of stuff complete, and I can really see the future of Crait really brightening. And it's a very exciting time. Very exciting time. So next week I hope that I'll get as much work as I've done this week or the last 3 weeks. Wink, wink. But yeah, my block exams and such, they're basically over, so I should be good to get you some real good quality content in this week's episode or next week's episode from when I'm talking now. I'm also on break in a few weeks, so I'll get a hell of a lot of work done then, and I look very forward to that because that's when I'm going to get a major chunk of work done, make some more orders, get down to business. Let's do it. Crait is coming along, guys. Crait is coming along. So, I leave you with this. If there's anything in this video that you're unsure about, make sure you go back to previous videos. I've explained things more. This is just a basic update. If you want to ask me any questions, there's a comment section below. I'd love to answer those questions, and I enjoy talking to you guys, so it's always great. Make sure if you like this video to, of course, like this video, and think about subscribing below, because then you'll keep up to date with all of the Crait updates, and this MOC is going to be pretty giant, so yeah, you'll want to stick around. And of course, as I said before, comment below if there's anything at all on your minds. Now, thank you for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Goodbye.